Oh! He appears. Just like that. I appear. I'm late on the stream today. I try to be on time, but sometimes I am late. I had a file I was uploading, and I didn't want to compromise the internet with the speeds. Although I don't know if the plumbing works that way. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me if internet works that way. I think it does. I think if you're utilizing upload speed, it compromises the stream speed or the internet speed in general. I don't know. How's it going? Captain Oreo says, did you flush? Now, that would be a good reason to be late for the stream. Very, very good. I saw someone on chat was saying that they're in Turkey. How's it going? 3 a.m. in Turkey. I'm sure you're a top rack Razgatlioglu super fan, as everyone in Turkey is. Basar says, sorry for the last stream hype just because of hype DRZ4. Today I saw a leak. They say it's 9,990 euro MSRP. That is a lot, if that's the case. But that wouldn't surprise me. Boy, is it really that much? That's a lot of money for a DRZ. For a bike that's like not that evolved. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. City says uploads will affect the stream. See, I knew it. That's why I wanted to wait. I got that super fast internet where I live, so I should be okay, but you never know. You always want to make it as good as possible. How's it going, everybody? It's another Yammie Noob stream. This is the pre-stream hang. We'll let people trickle in, hang out for a little bit, answer some questions on the fly. Ahmad says, hello from Morocco. Man, that is so amazing. Isn't like moments like that is when I'm like, the internet actually is amazing. It's not this horrible thing that we all have to use all the time. I was in Morocco in 2020. I did the Tiger 900 launch. Beautiful country. Really friendly people. I love that. I don't know if I love it, but I thought it was interesting that French is spoken there, so I could get by a little bit with the people there. Yeah. Traffic is insane in Morocco. One of the wildest traffic situations. Well, I say that, but India traffic was the craziest thing I've ever done. If we have any folks from India on the chat right now, totally nuts. Okay, Jack, when will you show some love to the UK? Well, I think 2 streams ago, I made fun of your island, and I made people angry. Followed your channel for a while, but would love to enter the giveaways, but would win over here. So I get this a lot, and unfortunately, there's no like realistic way to do worldwide giveaways. I've talked to my lawyer, I've looked into it, I've researched it. It is just simply too complicated to try to like figure out how to do like an international giveaway thing. So I just do it in the continental US. If it makes you feel better, I can't even really give away a bike to Hawaii or Alaska because it just gets crazy. So yeah, it just is what it is. What do we have here? I saw something else. Oh, Colby, I had a question. ETA on when you're getting an R9. So I've already got my deposit down. I hope to be one of the first people to get one. And I hope that the timing works out with our sweepstakes where I can just go ahead and launch it and we'll get the R9 popping. That would be great. What do we see here? What's going on? My track requires car drivers to use SA 2015 or SA 2020. Is that the same for motorcycle helmets? I've never heard of that certification for motorcycle helmets. That's probably just like a car helmet thing. So, I don't know. My buddy Capo in the chat. How you doing? Or is it Capo? I never know. I think it's Capo. Who else we got in the chat? What's going on? Do I prefer the Ninja 400 or 500? Asks Levi. Honestly, I think that if you, if you're able to find a good deal on a 400, it's not meaningfully different over the 500, truthfully, if you just want my honest opinion. The 400 is still goated. It's a fantastic motorcycle. Definitely get yourself one if you haven't. Boys, I think we should get started, shouldn't we? I already was 4 minutes late. It's already 6:09. Let's get it cracking, huh? Why don't we start off with some questions, huh? Y'all know the deal. Rider questions answered. If you have a question in the future you want me to answer, you can drop them on the chat right here. I try to answer those. on yammynoob.co on the Discord server. You can always drop me a question on there. I'll answer it. And these were collected from YouTube. Producer Logan does a great job on this live stream. He got them from YouTube, from Discord, all kinds of different places. So we will get started. Whoa. There's the first one. Memento FX on YouTube has asked me, thoughts on Royal Enfield's EV? So if you guys didn't hear about this, Royal Enfield basically launched a new brand, which I thought was interesting. It's called the Flying Flea. And I think that this is much more of a, it almost looks like an electric bicycle than a true motorcycle. And I think that they're gunning for that mass market transportation play. I could really see Royal Enfield trying to reach, you know, the mass market of India with this Flying Flea project rather than, you know, trying to sell it to Americans. Because I don't think the range is that great. I think it's much more of a, I guess, meant to be like a bop around, run around, urban type of thing. I'm not sure if I'm sold on the name. Flying Flea is a little strange. I'm not sure if I love the naming, but you know, I think it's pretty cool that they're doing it, and it's going to be a cool test bed for them to try stuff out. I remember I spoke with the CEO of Royal Enfield at the Himalayan launch, and we were chatting a little bit about Royal Enfield's EV plans, and he was like, "I got big things in the works. I can't tell you." And it must have been this Flying Flea project. So pretty sweet. Next question, Caden Ramey on YouTube has asked, hey, Yam, what do you think is the best state for motorcycling? I'm sure people on chat would have very, very storied opinions about this and probably defend their state with their best intentions. So we'll do U.S. states because I can't do global. And I think we can already, right off the bat, eliminate a lot of states that get cold, right? I don't think a state that, you know, has 5 months of winter where you can't ride is good to ride in. So I'm going to eliminate a lot of those. So we're looking at like southern U.S. and then maybe West Coast as well. I think if we're optimizing for motorcycle only, I know y'all aren't going to like me for saying this, but California really is. If you've never ridden in California, it is just simply stunning. It's beautiful. You ride through Malibu, you ride through the canyons, you have off-road, you have track days, you have perfect weather year-round, and it's why it's extremely expensive to live there, because if you live near the coast, it is extremely nice. So that's kind of a detractor, is that it's heinously expensive to live in California. They also have very tight emissions laws, so if you want to run a super cool exhaust, you're probably going to run into issues. So I'm not sure that California you know, would be the best for everybody. But I think if you're optimizing just for motorcycling, it's a pretty sweet state. I almost moved there because I loved it so much, but ultimately I wanted to be close to my family here in Texas. I think that if you wanted to go a little bit different, truthfully, there's some areas in Tennessee and North Carolina that could actually be incredible for motorcycle riding as well. They get a little colder in the winter, but I don't think they like fully shut down. So it could be, you know, pretty good if you live like sort of East Tennessee, maybe North Carolina. Nashville, I hear, is a really cool city, and there's some really nice, you know, cool mountainous roads out there. You're pretty close to Tail of the Dragon, if memory serves me correctly. So it's possible that some states southeast could work well, but again, maybe not a good fit for everybody. You know, it's like very forested and narrow and kind of claustrophobic feeling. But, you know, could be that. Two Gold Capo, back me up here, North Carolina. Great spot. I think the Malamoto here says, Florida sucks, but you ride all year. I would not recommend to anyone to move to Florida for riding motorcycles unless you want to get a stretched Busa and just do highway pulls. Florida is a flat, sad, humid, awful state. I lived there when I was a kid, and I never want to go back to Florida. They can keep it. They can keep that state. Sorry for all the Floridians on chat. Okay. Missing Agent 188 on YouTube has asked, what do you think about the new Triumph Speed Twin 900 48 horsepower as a first motorcycle? So I assume the 48 horsepower is an A2 license restricted Triumph Speed Twin 900. That's something they do over there in Europe, where you can actually get, I think it's a throttle restrictor or an ECU restriction to make it so that it's, you know, not as powerful, and you can ride it. Great option. You know, I think the Speed Twin 900, even without it being restricted, is it can work as a first bike. It's a very docile parallel twin. It's not particularly like rip your face off fast. It's really not fast at all. It's kind of a nice cruiser, you know, like it's just a nice cruiser, and it's just like a really really sweet motorcycle. So I think if you did get one that was throttle restricted, it's a beautiful bike. It sounds cool. I think you'd get a lot of respect and admiration from your peers, and women would fawn around you, men would respect you, fish would fear you. So yeah, get the Speed Twin 900, 48 horsepower as your first motorcycle. People backing me up on the chat with North Carolina. Producer Logan is from North Carolina, and I'm always a bit jealous when I look on Google Maps of where he is, and I'm like, there's so many good roads near you. God, I have to live in flat Dallas, Texas. This is just so sad. All right, Walking Cake on YouTube has asked, hey, Yam, what is the oldest bike you've ever ridden? Now, that honor goes to the Yamaha VMAX. I rode an original first-year Yamaha VMAX. We did a comparison between new VMAX and old VMAX. That was a really fun video. And I want to say that was like a 1985, so 40 years old at this point, 39 years old. So yeah. Hey, Logan on chat, North Carolina, backing it up. It's a good state, man. I want to come visit. I bet you if I'd visited enough of North Carolina, I would have been like, I'm just going to move out here. This is great. I love Asheville. Asheville's such a cool spot. I hope they're doing okay after the hurricanes. I know that they're still recovering out there. All right, Drew, Triple Q on YouTube. Thoughts on MotoGP 24? Now, I'm not sure if this is asking about the season of MotoGP or if it's just asking me about, I think there's a video game of MotoGP 24. I'm going to answer it from the MotoGP 24 perspective, just like the actual season. I'll give you some quick highlights. Let's start at the top. Jorge Martin, satellite bike, going to win the championship probably this Sunday. How cool is that? He deserves it. Really kind of a strange championship with Pecco having won so many races but having flubbed it so many times. He's going to be the first guy to win 10 races and to not win the championship because of the sprint format too. Now, I already see some comments of people saying that Jorge's not a real champion because he didn't win enough real races. I think that's BS. Jorge won in the way that he needed to. And also, if you think about it, it's insane how many races that they have. They have every weekend there's a sprint race and a real race. These guys are racing like 40 times a year. It's insane. Like, 10 years ago, you'd race like 15 times a year. You race 40 times a year. It's crazy. So, anyways, the duel between them is really cool. The GP24 is dominant. And I think it's really sick that Marc Marquez has found himself third place on a year-old Ducati. That guy is just all class, all talent. It's incredible to see. And of course, baby alien, the shark, Mr. Pedro Acosta. I'm a huge fan. Love seeing that kid ride. I think he's got tons of talent. Super, super fun. I can't wait to see what he does with the full factory support. He wants it so bad. I love to see that insane hunger and drive. You see a rider like that and you look at the other guys and you're like, are you even trying, bro? But then you realize that Pedro and Mark and Jorge, and they're just built different. There's something different about it. So, yeah. Look at this Tommy guy talking trash on stream. Says he loves the content, but sometimes it feels like he's just pulling videos out of his ass because of nothing really to make a video about so often. I do enjoy the vids, but it is kind of rinsed. You got to remember, my friend, that there's always new people coming into motorcycling. The reason we make videos that appear to be recycled is that there's always new people. And people, for some reason, don't use the search bar very often. So we just try to make stuff that is relevant and topical and fun in motorcycling to get more people excited about it. And sure, sometimes it can seem like the same topics come up over and over again, but that kind of happens in every hobby and niche. If you're into any other thing on social media, whether it be cycling or video games or computers or firearms or whatever you guys are into, people talk about the same stuff over and over and over again. And, I keep getting the same questions over and over again every year that I do this. So, just one of those things. All right. So, Captain Varga 70 on YouTube has asked, what are your thoughts on the Yamaha TW200? You know what? I'm going to put this to a poll because I think that people will back me up here. Is the TW200, oh my goodness, goated? We'll say yes or no, because I think the TW200 really is goated. I think it's fantastic. The reason I think it's fantastic is because there's nothing quite like it on the market. It is this weird, like, farm bike, fat rear tire, like, dumpy little thing. It's so cool. Like, there's really nothing like a TW200, and they're just fun or interesting or weird. And I love that it's still being made. I think it's insane that Yamaha didn't keep making the WR250R, but they kept making the TW200. That really tells me that other people really love that bike and really want to do stuff with it too. The T-Dub is fantastic. You can literally just plow through anything with the TW200. You can just farm bike and you can literally just sit on the bike and just like motor through any terrain. It's awesome. So yeah, I love the T-Dub. I've wanted one for years, but it's just I don't live in a place that would make sense to own a TW200. Like, really, a TW200 is perfect for like rural farmland and those kind of places. I think that if you are near some off-roading areas where you just want to trundle around, it's perfect. So yeah, I love the TW200. 70% of people backing me up saying T-Dub is goated. T-Dub is awesome. Saying that it will not die. I agree. All right. Half bolted on 9162 has asked me, is an SV650 a good track bike, or should I just spend the money on a more dedicated super sport for the track? Great question. Nuanced answer here. I think it depends on your skill set, right? If you are just getting started, or even if you're kind of an intermediate edging up to an expert level rider, an SV650 is an incredible platform. People know everything about them. They're pretty bulletproof. And you can go really fast on an SV650. You can plop down some seriously fast times on an SV650. They're really, really solid bikes. I've seen guys do insane things with SV650s. The caveat there is that unless you buy it already prepped, it is a ton of work to get those to really do what they need to do on track. You got to do suspension. Some guys do different subframes and plastics and geometry and clip-ons and just, there's so much you got to do. So if you can find one that's already prepped, great. I would say don't get a stock one and try to turn it into a track bike because it's a lot of work. If you are already very experienced at track days, you're involved in some racing maybe, I think that dollar for dollar, there's no better platform than a super sport. A classic Japanese 600. It doesn't matter which one you pick, a ZX6, a Gixxer, an R6. They're just perfect, and they work so well, and you don't need any other bike. You could just get a 600, and you will never outride that motorcycle because you can see what the expert club guys do with 600s. You'll be like, I will never reach those lap times, so it doesn't matter. So I would say that would be my kind of nuanced answer with this. All right. Safety Third on YouTube. Tips on buying / selling / trading bikes. It seems like you have a lot of experience with that. So I do have quite a bit of experience buying and selling bikes. I have never traded a motorcycle. I got close one time. Those 2 bricks of cocaine just looked really damn good, and the guy said that he would take my bike, but I ultimately decided against it. Just kidding. I didn't almost trade my bike for drugs. But I have bought and sold many, many motorcycles. And I would say, I think we've made videos on this, but I'll give you kind of a quick rundown. The tips for me for buying it, unless you really know the dealership and you can get like actual good deals because you've bought so many bikes from them, like me, really the dealership is there to just extract maximum value out of you. I've seen absolutely diabolical bills of sales on our Discord server of people asking like, oh, does this seem fair? Does this seem like a bike I should buy? Does this bill of sale make sense from the dealership? It never does. It never does. I've seen $1,500 dock fees. I've seen $1,600 freight and prep. I mean, just crazy stuff. So I would say if you're going to try to buy used, buy it off with somebody. That's usually a better way to do it. But, there's caveats with that, right? If you buy, used, you got to make sure you find the right deal, find the right bike. Otherwise, it can be a giant headache. Got to make sure the title's in good shape. Selling it is pretty straightforward. just list it at a fair price on Facebook Marketplace. Do not be one of those people that posts up an insane price. I mean, if your wife wants you to sell and you don't actually want to sell, and you could put it up at a high price, I'm not going to tell anybody. I won't tell you, that's a good tactic. Be like, oh, honey, it just won't sell. But put it at a fair price. Take great photos. Put effort into a well-written description. If you are illiterate, use ChatGPT, my friend. Try to find a way that it is actually legible. Do not take crazy cell phone pictures where your hand is covering up the license plate. Put some effort into selling it. Be an adult. That's what I would recommend. Streets and Peaks 3013 has asked, any given day, would you rather ride the Scrambler Desert Sled or the Aprilia? I have a Street Fighter and a Dual Sport, and I still secretly want the Fast House Desert Sled. Man, great question. And I don't even know how to answer it, honestly, because I've been riding the Aprilia a lot. I haven't really ridden the sled, so if you were to look at the evidence, right, of what bike I'm riding, certainly I'm riding the Aprilia a lot more, just because it's newer. I'm trying to get a feel for it. I'm trying to understand it. But the Desert Sled is special. It just has that grumbly air-cooled quality to it. It's just unique, and it's just torquey. That Desmo Twin is just great. I still have it. If it makes you feel bad, I haven't sold it, so clearly I don't want to sell it. I just love the bike so much. Yeah, so I think any day I'd probably be on the Aprilia, but the Scrambler does hold a special place in my heart. It's just such a sweet bike. There's really nothing quite like it, honestly. Really, really sweet. All right, Captain One Ironaut. Wow, that's kind of a crazy. My brain looked at the middle of that and said, Andrea Iannone? I couldn't read that. Ultra Squid here. What are some common things to look out for if I wanted to buy a beginner bike off of Facebook Marketplace? Okay, well, how could you be a squid if you're buying your first motorcycle? You have to have some motorcycling experience if you would like to be a squid. That's the first thing I would tell you. But some common things to look out for if you wanted to buy a beginner bike off of Facebook Marketplace. It's the classic stuff, right? We've done this a lot in the It Came From Craigslist videos. The photos have to look good, and the description has to be in correct grammar and legible English. If both of those are already good, the bike is already good, right? You can see a lot about the owner depending on how the photos are set up, what type of grammar you have, that sort of thing. If you have a motorcycle that, it's like you got the weird photos and you can't tell what's wrong with it or blah, blah, blah. Look for something that's close to stock, good photos, a well-written description, and not too high miles. You'll be fine. I mean, especially if it's Japanese, like a Ninja 400, people can't kill those things, dude. I'll give an example of how unkillable a Ninja 400 is for a beginner bike, right? I raced a Ninja 400 2 different years, in 2020 and 2023. But the bike that I raced in 2020 was raced in 2021, I think. And I believe that at that race in 21, I think it was the first round of the CMRA season. Sorry, I'm having to call upon a memory here. That bike ran accidentally on track without any coolant in it. It was basically air cooled. It ran on track at redline, at race pace for 5 hours until it seized and blew up. So if that tells you anything, it tells you how ridiculously bulletproof a Japanese beginner bike is. That you can run it without coolant at redline, at race pace until it seizes up. So something to think about, Something to think about. All right, boys, that's the questions answered. Once again, if you want me to answer your questions in the future, go to yammynoob.co, become a member, join the community, get involved. It's a ton of fun. And yeah, we'll appreciate it. Taking a quick sip here. Okay, Sear Ferret, I think you've dropped this comment. I keep seeing this comment a few times, so clearly you want me to answer it. Yam from Florida was wondering if you could make and give your thoughts on the new Ducati V2. Me personally thought that the new frame and body was great and whatnot, but not the engine. Thoughts, please. I don't understand why everybody is so up in arms about the engine on the new V2. The bike is an improvement in virtually every other way. And are we not glad that Ducati has invested in the super sport category instead of just like, turning it into a not so super sport bike and just calling it a day? Like, the fact that this bike is competing against the R9 and the RC990 while being its own bespoke category of motorcycle, it is not some naked bike first type of thing, I think is incredible, I think it's super, super cool that, Ducati has decided to keep making the V2. I'm not bothered by the fact that it makes less power because it needs to compete in the category. It's lighter, it's cheaper, it makes better torque. It's just, everything else is better about it. Steven adds to that the engine's not a Desmo anymore. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. It's gonna be more reliable, honestly, and do we not want reliable Ducatis? I think they figured out that the Desmo valves just don't really, do much for reliability. So that's my take on the V2. But there have been so many motorcycles that have come out. I think in 2 weeks, we're doing like a roundup video on all of the EICMA launches because there are so many bikes to get through. And I think some people were like, why haven't you talked about this bike or this bike or this bike? But we work so far ahead that sometimes like the super news-based stuff is kind of hard for us to get to really fast. We're not like Motobob out there, just a video every 2 hours and on the ground in person in EICMA. That's pretty nuts. But yeah, let's continue because now we have everybody's favorite section, the bike roast or boast, folks. Let's see if we can come up with some ridiculous roasts for your machines. Let's see what we're working with today. All right. Matt Freddy on Discord. Hey, Yam, here's my 2022 Ducati Panigale V2. Here we go. He's one of those people who we just talked about here on the chat he's gonna post comments about how the V2 is not good enough anymore. He said he picked up this bike at the start of the year off a used car lot with 300 miles, so I got a sweet deal on it. I've put just over 3,000 miles on it and getting ready to store it for the winter. So far, I've done an aero slip-on, ASV levers, tank grips, and an ECU flash. And I just need some cheap carbon fiber parts, and the bike will be complete. Thanks for looking at my bike. Love the channel. Keep it up. Let's take a look. Oh, it's the Troy Bayliss one. Isn't it? The 21, right? Oh, that was a good vintage. Okay, all that being said, I know I just said so much about how the V2 is the new version is fine or whatever. It's cool. Boy, these are nice. These are so nice. I had a Panigale V2 as a giveaway bike in 2020. It was our second ever expert bike giveaway. I loved it. It was so, when I took it on track, it had such a sharp front end to it. It was a little squirrely stock, but it had such a sharp dialed in front end. I thought it was just so pokey and pointy. It loved finding apexes. It was just a really, really solid bike. And, a super hopped up V-twin in a sport chassis. What's not to love, right? Just super, super nice. Yeah, this one, what can I say about the roast? I mean, he's got the vintage now. V2 people are about to become like R6 people, or they're about to post them up for sale, be like, I know what I got. It makes 35 more horsepower than the new one. This bitch is fast as hell. The aero slip-on, it's unroastable. I'm sorry, it's unroastable. Forklift in the back. Here we go. You're gonna be like that guy who was doing the chain maintenance with the forklift the other stream. That was insane. All right, next up. The J-Bar on Discord. I'd like to submit both of my bikes for the live stream submission. Come on, you can't submit 2 bikes. Now I gotta try to roast 2 different bikes. 2020 CRF 450L Supermoto build and my 2023 CRF 250R for dirt/track duty. After years and years of sport bike riding, I have seen the light. Taking the Supermoto places where they are most definitely not supposed to go is the most fun I've had on 2 wheels. So this guy's living that Jake the Garden Snake life, ripping up Supermotos. And I gotta say, Supermotos are a lot of fun. If you live in a place that you can go out and do some silly shenanigans with them, that is certainly the way to do it. Now, the CRF 450, is this the RL or the L? I don't remember. Oh, this is a 2020 before they did the RL. This bike is a bit strange because if memory serves me correctly, Honda basically tried to make a 450 fit the new like KTM 500 category. Don't quote me on this, but if memory serves me correctly, it was too heavy. It wasn't powerful enough, but the maintenance intervals were basically like a motocross bike. If memory serves me correctly, I could be wrong. So I don't think it's like the most crazy hopped up supermoto, but it doesn't need to be. You know, like I think people get in their heads, they're like, well, supermoto has to be 226 pounds and make 58 horsepower. I'm like, it really doesn't to be a lot of fun. You could have a KLX 300 and have a ton of fun with the supermoto. The 450 is totally fine. Totally fine. George says, too heavy, poor horsepower, horrible maintenance intervals. Yeah, I think I got it right. Look, his buddy's got the right choice. The 701 platform. You see that frame? Now that's a good bike. That's a pig of a bike, though, for sure. The 701 is like 320-something pounds, and oh my God, like supermoto people are always like, the weight, oh my God, it has to be a race bred, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, shut up. No one cares. Bike is fun. Bike is fast. That's a fun-looking garage. Look at that. Got all the toys. Got the lawnmower. Hello. Look at that. I love that you parked it up next to the other bikes like it deserves a place there. It's like you have like two bodybuilder friends and one like little small guy, and he's like, why are these bikes mogging this lawnmower over here? That's just sad. The poor lawnmower, man. He didn't ask for this. Why'd you do it to him like that? That's so sad. I like the CRF though, the 250R over here. These are sweet. So in Canada last year, I rode the trails that they had up there for the Big Rock Candy Mountain with the E-Rag traction guys, which made me quit dirt bikes because I hated it so much. But I did it, most of it. I did like 90% of it until I was so tired I just quit. Because I don't care. I don't have anything to prove to random Canadian people. And I was on a CRF 250 RX, which is the like cross-country motocross-derived version of this bike. And so the R is basically the same thing. I think it's just a purebred motocross bike. 4-stroke, if I remember. So I haven't seen the pipe yet. It's a 4-stroke. Probably a spicy little meatball on a motocross track. I had a KTM 250 that I rode around, and they're sweet, man. It's a lot of fun. Dirt bikes are a lot of fun. I don't know. I got hurt too many times on dirt bikes, and I could see where it was going. Where I was like, dude, this is not going to work well. All right. Weaving on Discord. Here we go. Hey, this is my 2007 Buell XB12S. I traded an old YZ450 I had for this bike, and I got it as my first street bike. Awesome. That's exactly what every XB12 ends up as. When I got it, the thing ran like shit, and ended up having to dump some time and a little bit of money into getting the bike ready to ride. After almost not being able to register it since the title was so beat up and old, I finally got it ready to go on a few rides. Unfortunately, winter is here and I'm dealing with 30-degree weather, so riding is coming to an end. But I love the bike now, looking forward to summer. You know, it's funny, as someone who lives in Texas, it was like 78 degrees today. This is like our riding season, like sort of like October to early December is like beautiful time of year to ride here. The bike is mostly stock, has 16K miles. Before you yell at me, I got rid of the exhaust wrap. This is an older picture. You guys might laugh, but oh man, that's a beat up little bike, huh? You guys might laugh, but I actually really, 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 really liked the Buell XB9 that I tried out. And so the XB12, to me, I'd be like, hell yeah, just more power, you know? I think they're great. Honestly, they're kind of funky, they're different, but they work so well. I was absolutely blown away by the XB9 that I rode. I couldn't believe how well it handled. We were riding an MT-09 that same day, sort of back to back, and I was like, I'd rather be on the Buell. I know that sounds insane, but the MT-09 that I was riding, it was like a Gen 1. It was ass compared to the way the Buell handled. The Buell handled beautifully. Eric Buell was really onto something, man. These bikes had a ton of potential. He was just hamstrung by Harley. It's just a sad story. It has this crazy like gas and frame and the perimeter brake. There was a lot of interesting ideas on the Buell. And I think that you know, it's a bike that could actually, I like that you have like the Huffy bar set up on it. You have like the BMX bar on this bike. John Deere, What's in the back there? What do you got? Is it more lawn equipment? Why are you all taking photos with lawn equipment? Just take a photo of your bike. How about that? Oh, Weaving's on chat. He says it's got a lot of torque and handles great. I agree. It really does handle supremely well. You'd be really surprised what a Buell can do. Yeah. Malamoto says, sweet bikes ahead of their time. They're pretty awesome, man. Yeah. I will say some Buell people, most of them are pretty laid back. Most of them are pretty chill. They sort of know what they got. They know that they own like a defunct brand, basically. But I swear to God, some Buell people, they're like BMW Boxer people, where they're like, I think different, bro. Nothing is ever the same to me. I'm like big braining everything in my life. They're the type of guy that goes to Harbor Freight, buys tools, and then complains about it. And it's like, well, you went to Harbor Freight. It's supposed to be cheap. Like, what did you expect? Like, why are you making it a big deal? You know? I don't know why. Buell people and Harbor Freight people, they're the same to me. I don't know why. Okay. Most wild wheat on Discord. I have an 84 Kawasaki Ninja 900R that I bought, which has been sitting for 20 years. Took some work, but she runs great. Still a great ride, but amazing how far we've come in 40 years. Pretty stock aside from the Yoshi slip-ons, timing plate, and coil unplug conversion. That is a phenomenal idea to do coil unplug conversion on these so that you get them a little more modernized. That's a really, really great idea. Oh, man. Look at this little time capsule. Look at this, man. Yeah, we really have come a very long way with motorcycles. Sometimes you don't think about it that way because you'd look at these old bikes. Wow, look at that thing, dude. Look how dusty it was from sitting in the barn. A true barn story, man. Ugh, I wish I had more mechanical aptitude and more of an appetite to do some sort of like cool retro ground up thing like this. But I see what it does to other people, and I just value my sanity and my peace of mind too much to actually get started with a project like this. I got caught up on Spite's channel the other day, and I saw the VMAX saga, and I was like, oh my God, that looks like a giant headache. I never want to do that. But I'm glad that someone else put this together and started enjoying it. I think that's a ZX4 behind him here. The frame looks like a ZX4. I'm not sure. I think it is. That all looks familiar to me. What a gorgeous machine, though. Look at that. Cleaned up beautiful. Got the retro side reflectors here. Look at the front suspension and the brake setup. The old school. Are these like 16s up front? Those look like really small wheels, don't they? It looks like OEM styled rubber. Just a total time capsule, man. Really, really cool and really well done restoration here. I love that you kept it original and kept it pristine. That's just really, really cool. I love seeing these on the road. You hardly ever see 80s sport bikes on the road, but super cool when you do. So I guess it's unroastable once again because it just looks great. Good looking motorcycle. Look at that thing. Liquid cooled right there on the side. Back when that was a big deal. It was a big deal. It was liquid cooled. All right. It's Toxin777. Hi. I'm a new rider, and I bought this used 2023 Ninja 400 from the dealership. Okay. All right. I've been riding for over... You just like getting boned? Dude, you don't have to tell us that you like getting pegged, man. You could just leave that out. I've been riding for over a week, and now I am in love. The previous owner did a few things to the bike. Tucked in taillights, tank grips, frame sliders, exhaust, and LED lights. Dorky, I know, but I like it. Came with... You know what? That's fine. I know I give you guys grief for stuff like this, but if you like it, who the hell cares, man? Ride what you like. Enjoy life. Don't let some frickin' guy who's always wearing a baseball cap and clear glasses and talking about turbo boosters tell you otherwise. Came with 6,600 miles, already added over 200 miles to the bike, and I have been learning something new every day that I ride it. Also, thank you for the awesome videos. I love you. Wow. Coming on a little strong there, my friend. You don't have to say you love me, but you know what? I love you too. All right, let's take a look. You know what? It looks pretty good. Little used Ninja 400. Couple mods done to it. I'm seeing, is it a Chinesium exhaust or is it a real exhaust? It just says exhaust, so we're going to assume it's Chinesium because with Ninja 400, hey, tech spec tank grips. Not bad. Not bad. That's definitely a Chinesium exhaust. I had one of these on our race bike. I just didn't care. Whoa, holy underglow. Look at that. Holy moly. The Ninja 400 boys are out here in force. But like I said, man, if you're having fun, enjoying it, who the hell am I to tell you? Just enjoy it. It's fine. It's a good thing. All right. Riding Ninja Nurse. There we go. On Discord. 2020 Ninja 400 full exhaust. What are we doing? Full exhaust FTECU tuned stacks, tail brake lines, windshield lights. That's not a sentence, but thank you so much. Oh no. No. What is this? Oh my God. This crazy bluing thing over here. You picked it up and it already looked like this. Oh my God. The bike did not cause this to happen. Look, bluing exhaust pipes are only cool when they're titanium, real titanium, and you know that the bike did it. Not that it was like pre-burned in some factory or something. It's too far down the tailpipe for that to have any real bluing. That usually only happens at the headers when they're titanium. I don't know. I don't know if I like this. I don't think I do. This picture's a little clearer. Okay, let's think about this one. So there is, I believe, a subreddit online that is something to the effect of like poor design but well executed, and I believe that that's what we're looking at here. Look, I don't like it. Would I do this to my personal bike? Would I turn the Touareg 660 into Venom meets Jackson Pollock meets 2005 graphic design for a wallpaper? I don't know if I would. I'm not sure if I would, but I respect people for doing it. Wow, look at the lights. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. That is really bright. I'm not sure if that's allowed to be that bright, is it? That's probably a traffic violation. Has to be. I'm not sure if chat is liking this one. I'm seeing some comments that are questioning this motorcycle's street credibility. They did a lot to it, but I will say, you know what? The problem with this is you'll never resell it. That's the issue. Unless you remove the lights and remove that insane paint job, nobody would want this. That's the big problem I see. And I know for a lot of people, it's important to be able to resell the motorcycle. So if you get a bike like this, I don't think you're going to be able to sell it. So maybe keep it forever as a museum piece, a testament to man's hubris. But yeah, not to my taste. Not to my taste. Lewis on Discord. Hi. Know how Yammie thinks Hondas are the best thing since the invention of seedless watermelons? Funny sentence. Here's my 2016 Honda NC 700X, the greatest motorcycle ever conceived by man. I'm on my second cheapest throttle lock that I could purchase from Amazon. It does have a scratch from dropping this baby because I hit oil on the Mixmaster in Dallas. But other than that, this Yammie must agree that this is the greatest first bike anyone could possibly purchase. I know for a fact there's no way Yammie could possibly disagree. All right. Let's start roasting it, shall we? Okay, so the NC 700X, a motorcycle that doesn't really quite know what it wants to be. My issue with this motorcycle is, if memory serves me correctly, it's an automatic, which I already don't particularly enjoy. But the NC 700 does have some interesting features, such as a frunk, if I remember correctly. I believe this compartment right here, you see that little gap? You can actually crack that open, put some stuff in, which clearly it must be full since he has a yoga mat, a gym bag, a trash bag, and a pillow. So what activities is an NC 700 owner getting up to? Clearly being homeless and practicing his bridge pose on the go. I'm not sure why an NC 700 user would need to practice yoga on the go, but, do whatever you want. Malamoto says that thing will wheelie standing still. Now, the other thing I want to point out here is I believe that's a a disc lock on the bike right there, that tiny blue thing that looks like a pin or a disc lock of some sort. That is one of the best features about an NC700 is you do not need any theft prevention because nobody is going to want to steal this motorcycle. So that's okay, you know? Out here in the field. So these types of photos I love because clearly there would be a road somewhere off camera here, but you park it in the field to make it look like you're more adventurous than you are. We have a red bag, a gym bag, the trash bag, the yoga mat. Oh, God. Folks, look at that right there. Look real close and hard at what that is right there. Either a member of the avian species has decided to defecate all over this motorcycle and give it the treatment it deserves, or our fellow Lewis that owns this motorcycle has had himself a little bit of an accident right here. Maybe he's rolling out the yoga mat, trying to attract the females in yoga pants, but unfortunately, he had a little bit of a mishap right here before they even showed up in the yoga pants. So that is really unfortunate. Chris B says it's a camping mat. No, it's a yoga mat. I don't care what you say. I don't believe you. Oh, here we go. He's like, you know what? God, how heavy are these boxes? The bike looks squatted to death. Look, you're never going to have someone two up on this machine. You do not need to practice in a parking lot with two lead-filled medium moving boxes. This is like when you're you catch your little brother making out with his hand in his room and you're like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm practicing to, maybe if I kiss somebody. He's like, you're never going to kiss anybody. You're never going to do it. Ever. You're practicing riding two up over here on this machine. You don't need to practice. Like I said, NC700 can't be stolen. You can't ever have, members of the female species or the male species on the back of this bike. The NC700 is a lonely rider. Lou Cole here says, you fit two small Filipino boys in the back of this thing. Two for the price of one. Bungee corded to their doom. The thing is, you ride this motorcycle with two small, beautiful Filipino boys in the back, and you didn't set the preload. You're going to crash. You are absolutely going to crash. This is an insane thing to do with this motorcycle. Do you have other photos of it? No! No! Come on, man. What are you doing? What is this? It's like you did these on purpose to just make me angry. That now you have an even larger box. What are you moving with this? Business is expanding, says Malamoto on chat. You know what? Humble beginnings, right? This guy's trying to start up his human trafficking business. He was inspired by the Speed 400 guy. And he's like, all right, we're going to, we started off trafficking small, beautiful Filipino boys. We can now move to more rotund American children. We can now get portly, East Coast, grass-fed, corn-fed, McDonald's-fed American boys. You can fit them in the back there now. You absolutely can. Holy macaroni, dude. This thing... It's like he progressed. He's like, I can put a yoga mat on the back. I can fit a garbage bag. I can fit two boxes. I can fit one large giant box on there. It's a fetish, dude. You can't tell me otherwise that you don't have some weird fetish about moving all the goddamn giant boxes on your stupid NC. You already have front storage. What could you possibly need to move that this enormous is on there? And your windshield's too big. I'll just say it. You know what? You know what? I don't care what you think. Your windshield is too big. This is ridiculous. Moving on. I can't do this anymore. Joshua CL on Discord. Here is my 2016 Kawasaki Versys 650 LT. Thank God we're back to normal dork machines. The NC700 was too much for me. I got it to replace my Ducati. No! That's the worst trade deal of all time. What Ducati? Any Ducati. What? Oh, God. It has 33,000 miles, a GV windshield, center stand, throttle lock, USB charger, phone holder, and cup holder. Makes a great touring bike with plenty of power. Oh, my God. Folks, we lost another one. Oh, Lord, we lost another one. Oh, Christ. Yep, it's a Versys. Uh-huh. You can go long distances with it and be sad. It's a lot of luggage though. A lot of luggage. Oh, a Ducati for a Versys. Why? Why did you do that? Please tell me it wasn't like a 916 or a cool Ducati. Hopefully it was like some wretched multistrada that you fleeced some idiot for, and you got like an actually good little touring motorcycle. Oh my god, I shudder to think what Ducati you traded for this. But again, it does. I will say, I've said this about the Versys. It does everything it needs to do. It's a competent, good little touring machine. It does everything it does. The real question is, and someone just brought this up on chat, how many boxes can you fit on here? That's a real challenge. How many moving boxes can you put on here? And if you cut up a rotund American boy, can you put his legs in the boxes on the side here on your Versys? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Looking good. Look at the beard. Look at this gentleman. Oh, you don't look happy. I gotta say. He doesn't look happy. This is the pained expression of every man that owns a Versys 650. You just think, well, I did what I had to do, I did what I had to do. What was I supposed to do? I got the Versys. I had to do it. I didn't want excitement in my life. I didn't want a Ducati anymore. I was too excited. I need to calm down a little bit. Now I'm happy. Look at me. I'm happy. I'm so happy. He's not. Oh man. Yeah. My boy looking like he escaped the Amish compound. Says IT pirate over here. Oh god. All right. Jacob M3. I got my license this past May and started a 19 Kawasaki Z650, and I proceeded to get rear-ended the second day. 0 injuries. What? That's crazy. And the bike got totaled out. I rode it for 800 miles waiting for an insurance adjuster. Dude, that sucks. Planning to buy the bike I was planning on upgrading to, which is my 23 BMW F900R. I love that it's like, you spent 800 miles on the bike, and then you're like, screw it, I'm just going to upgrade because I don't have the bike anymore. That's hilarious. That's how many miles it took for you to realize that the Z650 was a mistake. It probably got rear-ended. You're like, thank God. Fuck that. I am not going to do this. So 23 BMW F900R. Put almost 3,000 miles on it so far. It's been an amazing machine. Very smooth powertrain. I installed a full system Dominator exhaust and an Evotech tail tidy. My friend, with the BMW F900R, the only thing you're going to be dominating is your wife's boyfriend when he does not give you your Nintendo Switch. Now, these bikes are so nondescript, right? Like, you squint and you're like MT-07, but it's a BMW and you paid so much money for it. I don't really understand the appeal of this bike. It has the most nondescript styling I have ever seen of in my life. It is the most like not there motorcycle that I've ever seen. They come with a center stand? I guess it does. It's on a center stand right there. I didn't know that. I just don't really think it's just not that particularly inspiring. It's like, why would you go and spend money on a bike that is just so deeply like uninteresting and just doesn't do anything better or different than anybody else? I will say it is interesting that you had the Z650. It got rear-ended. Then you're like, well, I still want Z650, but just better or different? Because surely the F900 is more pokey and grunty and actually has a 270 crank over the Z650. It is a naked bike, and it does the thing that it needs to do. But I just don't really think that, I don't know. It's just, I've never been inspired by the F900. I'm just like, what does it do better or different than any other bike in the category? I don't know. It's just not particularly interesting to me. All right, let's see this next one. At Akatsuki on Discord. Hey, Yam, this is my 2011 Daytona 675. Why can we not? Daytona 675 with 5,800 miles that I just picked up this past weekend. Been watching your stuff since you had your original Daytona, and after years of watching, I finally bought my own. Well, thank you. That was a long time ago. That was 2015, 16 that I had that bike. So thank you for being a long-time supporter. You've probably seen some crazy arcs on this channel. I've looked at these bikes for years, and while many say that you shouldn't meet your hero, this is one bike that definitely lives up to the hype. All stock except the beautiful competition works that came with the original Triumph bag and the service manual. Nice. Spare key and owner service log. Already super excited about it and can't wait for many fun years with this one. P.S. The Panigale in the first two photos is my dad's. He's owned since new in 2012. Very cool. Very cool. You got your dad that rides. You've been watching my stuff for a long time. You got a vintage Daytona. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's the black and gold one. Oh, Lord have mercy. These bikes are so good. The Gen 1 with the Undertale exhaust. This like kind of gold competition works. The Undertale. Oh, they've aged so well. They look so good. The Gen 1 looks so good. I've always thought the Gen 1 looks better than the Gen 2, the 2013 to 2017 one. The 2013 is a better bike. It makes a little more power. The engine's a little zestier. They just dialed everything in a little bit, but it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous bike. I love the way the subframe looked on the old ones. The new subframe, the new one on the 2013 to 2017, it has like a plastic cover on it. This one, it's metal. It's all just metal. It's welded. It's just tacked onto it right there. The pipes run underneath it. Just gorgeous bike. Just a really, really gorgeous bike. Yeah, that looks really clean right there. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good motorcycle. Yeah. Yeah, that's clean. That's super cool. You got it with like the original service manual, all like the good stuff. Black and gold is such a good finish for this one. Black and gold is the spec I wanted the most. Yeah, that's fair. This is in my opinion the correct Daytona to get. Just beautiful. I love this is like the OG Triumph badging they used to do on the tanks. Super, super nice. It's got the old school Daytona. Man, these are so good. Yeah, the front of it to my eye anyways, it still looks modern. It still looks good. You got the ram air right there. Just a top-notch sport bike. Still, I think it's because, so many of you know the story of how I found out about the Daytona 675 was in 2010 when I started really getting into motorcycles. My buddy, he got me into like cafe racers, and I found out about Triumph, the brand, and I went to the Triumph website, and I was like, oh, they make like other types of bikes. And I saw this Daytona, the 2011. Oh my God, I just fell in love. I couldn't believe the sound that the 3-cylinder makes. Just phenomenal machines. Phenomenal bike. Really, really cool. All right, that was a beautiful high note to end the Bike Roaster Boast. Let's do some motorcycle trivia really quickly because we do have 2 mystery boxes this week. So let's get to it. All right, first question. Who completed the first 100-mile-per-hour lap in the Isle of Man TT? Bonus question, what year was it achieved? Is this the Moto Guzzi Odo, the 8-cylinder bike that they had for a while? Look at the fairings on this bad boy. This is when like nobody knew how to build a motorcycle yet. Look at this absolute Chad with like a half helmet, goggles, and like a shirt. No gloves. Maybe gloves? I don't even know. That's so crazy. I'm going to say the first 100-mile-per-hour lap, was it Giacomo Agostini? Oh, maybe it was Phil Reed. Was it Phil Reed? In like 62 or something? Let's see. Bob McIntyre, a.k.a. the Flying Scotsman in 57. Well, I wasn't right. I thought maybe it was Phil Reed. I thought I was doing a big brain move. Look at the drum brakes on this thing. Oh my God, that looks like a death trap. These guys are just built different, dude. Absolutely built different. All right. Next question. When Carl Fogarty was forced to retire due to injuries after a crash in 2000, what racer replaced him on the factory Ducati team? We actually talked about this rider a little while back. If the timeline serves me correctly, I believe it was Troy Bayliss, right? Hey, Troy Bayless replaced the dude. Got it right. Look at that. Easy peasy. All right. Question. What famous American author is credited for the following quote? Some people will tell you that slow is good, but I'm here to tell you that fast is better. I've always believed this, in spite of the trouble it's caused me. Being shot out of a cannon will always be better than being squeezed out of a tube. That's why God made fast motorcycles, Bubba. Hunter S. Thompson, maybe? Survey says Hunter S. Thompson. Let's see. Oh my God, Hunter S. Thompson. He wrote the famous ethnography on the Hells Angels and even reviewed the photographed Ducati 900 SS for Cycle World. I still to this day think that Super Sport SS review, 900 Super Sport review is one of the cringiest pieces of writing about motorcycling that I've ever read in my life. I hate that article, and I do not like Hunter S. Thompson. I just put that out there. Not a fan. All right. What is the approximate ratio of motorcycles to cars worldwide? It's got to be orders of magnitude larger. I'm going to say, is it 5-1 maybe? For every one car, there's 5 motorcycles? I'm going to say 5-1. One motorcycle for every 2 cars. Oh, it was backward. Really? There's not more bikes than cars? There's more cars than bikes? Oh my God. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right, next question. VMAX designer Kenji Ekuon is responsible for the creation of what even more ubiquitous Japanese product? Now, this one I know because it was one of my favorite fun facts on a history video we did about the VMAX, and it's the Kikkoman soy sauce bottle. I know that one off the top of my dome. Oh, look at that. Oh, man, this is too easy this week. I'm just lining them up, slapping them down. Shoo. All right. Question. What U.S. city is credited as being the first to adopt Harley-Davidson motorcycles for police use? What U.S. city is credited as being the first to adopt Harley-Davidson motorcycles for police use? Would it be Milwaukee, where the bikes were made? I don't know if they were always headquartered there, but I feel like it's got to be like a Midwest city, just because that's where they're from, right? Milwaukee. Let's try Milwaukee. Survey says Milwaukee. Is Yam correct? Let's see. Harley credits Detroit, Michigan. Oh, I was close. As being the first purchaser of police motorcycles in 1908. Interesting. Wow, look at this super old photo here. Wow, that's so crazy. Guy's wearing bowling shoes to drive his motorcycle. All right, boys, time to wrap up the show. We got Mystery Box. We have 2 of them this week because last week I couldn't get one of the mystery boxes. So let's do last week's mystery box first. Now, I did rip it open because I thought it was a different package, but I didn't look inside once I saw that it did say live stream at the top of it. So let's take a look. Oh my God. Look at that. Okay, so first of all, you can see that it's a little Scrambler Ducati toy. But this is actually super funny because this was not planned. I have a little Scrambler toy sitting on my desk. I've had this for a long time. This one is even better because this is the exact spec of my desert sled. That's so cool. This was an original 2019 one with the gold wheels. I still love this one a lot. But this mystery box, look at that. Tiny little Scrambler. How adorable. All right, well, now they're going to be friends, of course, on my desk. All right. Now the second mystery box. Now this is a tiny package. There's really not much in here. I'm grabbing it. It feels like a small rectangle. It is a Fabiter sound machine. Interesting. Okay. Oh, we got a little plug there. I think the batteries ought to work now. I cannot put this near my daughter. Otherwise, I'm never going to hear the end of it. Oh my God, the applause is so long. We have nuclear bomb. We have music. Oh my God, the spring is so funny. Okay, I love anything that makes fun little noises, so this is actually a pretty sweet little sound box. So, thank you very much, producer Logan. This is going to be a fun one. We can end the stream on a boing, and I will catch you all on the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out today, folks. I appreciate it. Remember, join on yammie.co. You can become a member and get access to our Discord and the giveaway bikes and all the great stuff we do on here. Thanks so much for watching the show. Bye-bye.